Here's everything we know and what I suspect about the Furlings from Stargate, right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor from Beard vs. Geek, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. So we are back into the gate and we are talking about the Furlings. First off, everything that we know. Well, we do know that the Furlings were around several thousand years ago, and they were part of a great alliance, along with the Asgard, the Ancients, and the Nots. Now, we do know that their writing looks like this. And we also know that there has only been one planet on which there has been ruins of Furling technology and establishment. Well, a planet and a moon, but the moon's kind of weird. Anyway, one planet, okay, that has been discovered so far throughout 10 seasons of Stargate and several seasons of Atlantis and everything else. Now, as far as Furling philosophy goes, we do know that at least a tiny group of them were the ones that developed this temple and developed the technology to create a utopia society on the moon above this planet. We know that from Season 6, Episode 15, Paradise Lost, where Mayborn finds the invitation and the key in order to go to this planet and to join the utopian society. However, when he gets there, he finds out that that invitation is several thousand years old, and everyone is dead, and the utopian society is now a pile of ruin, and they go on a crazy drug trip. And yeah, it's a weird episode, but in that episode, it tells us a lot about the Furlings, because these Furlings are the ones who invited other civilizations to join them in this utopian society. Now, the reason why I said a small group is because in that episode, we see the village of the utopian society. It consists of about 10 buildings and had a population of around 20. Now, the reason we know that is from establishing shots and by working out, okay, where are all the different buildings. But also, Colonel Jack O'Neill goes around and he finds bodies and he marks out where they are. And by looking at the hash marks and by counting up skeletons, there were about 20 people there. And we see skeletons for about half of them. And we do know with a certainty that one of them was a Goa'uld, leading to his theory that the Goa'uld killed the people on the utopian colony. So with a small amount of buildings and a small population, it stands to reason that there was only a small group of Furlings who wanted to test out this idea of a utopian society. Now, these Furlings had advanced technology enough to be recognized by the Ancients, the Asgards, and the Nots. The Nots who can make things invisible, the Ancients who can do all sorts of crazy things, and the Asgards who are from a different galaxy and only came to ours to, hang out, study, have fun. Now, we do know that Furlings had excellent technology in the form of transportation, as indicated from the episode Paradise Lost, as well as technology to screen out advanced weapons. Weapons that are energy-based, not mechanical-based. Now, although we don't actually know what a Furling looks like, in the 200th episode, they're depicted as like koala bear creatures. However, that's probably not true. Because that was part of a terrible script, and that entire episode was like a nod to the audience, not actual, this is what they are. But we do know a few things based off of their technology, their writing styles. We do know that most likely they are biped and that they have opposable thumbs. We know that from their writing and from their technology. They actually need to grasp onto the technology in order to put the key in the slot as depicted in the episode Paradise Lost, and to use the control panel and to write very smallly and meticulously on the tablets from that same episode. Colonel Jack O'Neill suspects that they look, quote, cute and fuzzy just because of their name Furling. However, if you were to look at the word Earthling, which is what we are, that just means from Earth. So it would make sense that the word Furling does not indicate what they look like, covered in fur and all cute and fuzzy, but rather they are from Fur. Fur probably meaning the name of their planet where they are from, similar to Earth. We are from Earth, we are Earthlings. They are from Fur, they are Furlings. It makes sense, right? Well, that's just my idea. That's not actually established in canon, but it does make sense. So if that is the case, where the hell are they actually from? Well, since they knew the ancients and they had the ancients trust enough to establish a Stargate during a experiment planet with a utopian society, odds are that there is some sort of Stargate connection to the Furling homeworld, similar to the Asgard and the Nox, both of which have gates attached to their home worlds. The only difference is that the Asgard is in another galaxy. Now on to my theory about where the Furlings came from and where they went. So my theory is that the Furlings, like the Asgard, are not from this galaxy. If they were, there would be more stories about them. There would be more ruins that could be discovered by all sorts of civilizations. Like the Nox, who keep a very low key and who use invisibility technology, that still got out to the Goa'uld and was famed for having a creature that could turn invisible. Well, that turned out to be the Nox's doing. But we don't have any stories like that. We don't have any planets that are famed to have weird stuff happen that could indicate a Furling presence, which indicates that the Furlings could quite possibly be from a different galaxy. And they only came to our galaxy and visited and met with the ancients, the Asgards, and the Nox, and formed that United Nations of the Stars. So if that was the case, where did they go? Well, most likely they went back to their home galaxy, because the universe is a big place and crazy stuff happens all over the place. Like the Asgard, who have to deal with the replicator threat, it is quite possible that the Furlings had to deal with an outside invader or had to deal with their own internal affairs, such as a disease that came along. The Furlings removed their presence from the Milky Way galaxy simply because they could not afford to hang on. They had to deal with their own stuff in their own galaxy. That is why we don't see a lot of Furling ruins all along the galaxy. We see ancients all along the galaxy. Also, another of the reasons why the Furling left could be the emergence of the Goa'uld. So with the pressures of the Goa'uld and dealing with supply lines and dealing with having the fact that the Furlings were in a different galaxy, my theory is that they simply just went home to their own galaxy for various reasons. Pressures from here and possibly pressures from their own home system. Now I want to know what you think and what your theories are about the Furlings. Where did they come from? And where did they go? What happened to them? Also, I want to ask you a question. Do you want to see more Stargate videos like this one in its own separate channel? And have a channel purely dedicated to Stargate with weekly uploads about Stargate, the universe, and Stargate theories and everything Stargate? Let me know in the comments down below if you would like that channel. And if you liked this channel and this video, you can go ahead and subscribe. Great videos like this are coming out twice a week, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. You can click on one of these two videos right here for some awesome manliness and geekiness. Because after all, if the women don't find you manly, they should at least find you geeky. And until next time, don't go shaving on me.